Welcome back to the LCS Academy, powered by Verizon. Whoa, Josh! Whoa, everything's moving. I don't know what's
spinning,
but it is incredible to be back after our first game of the day. CLG Academy came out with a dub, but it was a little bit tough to come by, I would say, in some instances. But we'll get to all that in just a little bit longer because we have a bit of a halftime show to play here, and it's another edition of Would You Rather. Magical, this is your first time playing this one, so this should be fun. But I have chosen 3 plays from this previous game. We're going to go ahead and look at those plays. I'll get you guys to choose who would you rather be out of a couple players on either side, and we'll see what they... apparently we didn't get the third one, so we only have the 2.
Teacher.
But in actuality, we'll see who you choose and how that pans out for them. Yes, Magical, your hand is raised. What?
Can I just fill in all the answers as triple?
That's what we did last time.
If I give you that multiple choice, yes, you can. So let's go ahead and bring up the first clip that we have. And this one is going to be a decision between triple and spawn.
Oh, I already elected an answer.
Would you rather be Magical? Your rules should not apply. Who would you rather be in this situation?
Weird. I almost feel like I would always rather be triple.
Okay.
Yeah.
So heavy theme. Every time we do Would You Rather with triple, it's always the triple answer.
It's always triple.
Did you not watch that game? Triple popped off, man.
He absolutely did, and we'll get to see that as we'll play this clip and see exactly what happened. It was a bit of a topsy-turvy fight. I was looking at Spawn's positioning through all this, but then when they get driven into the alcove, I don't know, herded into the alcove, that's when it all goes wrong.
I feel like, in this game in general, I wouldn't really want to be Spawn for most of it because, even though Spawn's a pretty cool guy, a pretty good player, he has to deal with so many slows. He has to deal with so much extra range. He has to play so well in order to get anything done at any point during this game, whereas Triple, he's got the mobility, he's got the Stream and Shuffle, he's got the Emperor's Divide. He can do whatever he wants, and when the rest of the team is already committed, then they've already blown all of their cooldowns before I even arrive, I'm going to take the triple angle every day. The triangle.
You didn't like the jumping the triangle? I don't know about that one. But you don't like the jumping around by okay, fine. I tried. It was obviously the insanity or I guess insane show by the mid laner triple there. But now I'm going to bring up our second clip, and this one I don't know if you guys are going to get to differentiate because again, your options or triple or insanity.
Triple!
And if you're sticking...
Doubling down.
All right, double down.
Triple.
Josh, he's doubling down.
I think this is the 4th straight clip that we've played Would You Rather where my answer is going to be triple.
Good thing there was other ones. But we'll see if triple is able to pull it out here. I personally would have chosen insanity, but let's see how this guy works out for... okay. For the limit testing, for the fun, for the crazy outplay, I love it for triple. But myself, I want to be okay. I want to be okay at the end of the day, and that's what I feel like insanity got.
I definitely think we saw...
Josh, I'm taking this one because
my God!
Because you cannot look at a man who says I'm 1v4 and decides to fight and not choose him.
He had a way out. He literally had an exit.
And that's how you know he's got cojones, that he keeps fighting. That he's like, I might be outnumbered, I could get away, but I'm still going to fight. That's what the triple means.
Exactly. It's not about the burger, it's about the number of cojones.
We're gonna go to the third clip.
That's what it is.
The absolute straight face right there, just like. All right. What were you? Do you have something triple? Okay, you don't get the triple option. This is your last moment to talk about triple if you got it.
Wait, so who are the options?
Triple good.
Yeah, I was like, who are the options? Is it triple? Is triple involved?
For this third clip, I specifically did not choose triple. It is Meech or JJ. Interesting enough, we'll see as the plate claims out, but it's JJ not as much of an influence. I find the Meech angle kind of funny because he flashes and tries to be a little bit flashy.
I was literally about to say the only reason I'm choosing Meech is because he flashed forward, as you should.
So let's go ahead and play the clip.
I definitely feel it's a mangle here at this point, right? Because it definitely feels as though JJ's job is really hard in these games, right? Like, yes, he's got a big ultimate to go for, and he catches 4 people here, but he's kind of the only one immediately going in. Hoon doesn't have his bar available, right? X, you can't really turn off the Baron immediately unless you're already calling. He's generally the one who needs to go first, and then Umumu kind of wants to follow it up. So it feels as though CLG's job is a lot easier to play in these team fights, and that really comes down to how Mage tries to execute a lot of these positionings when he actually goes for a lot of these skirmishes.
I take it back. I still answered triple.
Okay, I'm not gonna allow that, but you know,
I'm literally making my own bubble on the test sheet, and I'm writing triple metric, and I'm filling it in.
Well, I will say shout out to JJ. I wonder what his brain was thinking about. I just got such a huge ulti, and then I get out and everything. Like, but hey, you know.
I don't imagine you're watching right now, Doc. But he was, why Doctor was a supporter, and he had the very similar ultimate. And every single time he would go for something like that, he would get like a 4 or 5 man ultimate. And if we didn't clean up after it, he'd just go, oh.
Oh no, it's not. He's not mad at this point.
Look. If you want to not have to worry about that issue, you just build full AP on a Momo. Simple.
Oh yes,
Before we
like
get
having
into the rabbit
one
hole.
AP item because I don't have any money as support.
Well, that's why you get the kills, Josh.
I just feel like we start bringing out all the picks Magical's been working on in the break week. I don't know if we'll ever leave, but it was a fun episode of Would You Rather. Thank you guys for voting triple again and again and again and again and again and again. Maybe I just don't choose triple, even if he has those pop-up plays. I specifically punish you guys to not be able to know.
You can just pick somebody who's like also just in the fight. It's like, would you rather be Dokla teleporting bottom,
the meme where it's like triples
who's left alone in the top lane?
Yeah, and I would still answer triple.
It's longing to be with triple, but after that incredible start to the day, I think it was, as you were kind of saying at the end of the game, Joshi, very interesting the way that CLG tackled a lot of the problems they were presented with in this game.
Yeah. And I kind of want to look at it from the Dignitas angle, right? While I feel CLG, it's very easy to talk about all the things that they were doing well. Dignitas, we looked at Hoon. I don't feel like you could have asked for a whole lot more from somebody in their first game with you who has only had a couple of scrim days so far. He performed quite well on this Gnar into the Yone. But we also looked at, when XU had his really good games on the Belveth, it's because they had a very clear plan. They played around the Rift Heralds, and while they got the first one this time around, it doesn't feel as though that same plan exists for Dignitas around the Dragons, right? It doesn't feel like they were setting up and had an idea of how they wanted to tackle that, whereas CLG did.
Yeah, they had triple.
That's it? That's your analysis there, Magical?
Yeah,
that's all you got?
They had triple. I mean,
yeah, triple. That's all you need in order to pick up a dragon?
Yeah.
Just the dragon, though.
Honestly, I'll even say, this is why I like Azir right now, because he's both powerful in the mid game and the late game. People always underestimate the damage that he does later into the game, and then he just ends up annihilating everyone. He's really good at securing objectives like that, and so I honestly don't think that triple should be allowed to play Azir again. Just because he's really good on that champion. But Triple also has a massive champion ocean that he can draw on. So it's really difficult to actually pinpoint the best way for Insanity to beat him unless you're getting I'm just trying to even think of other things. Maybe it's a bot lane, Vel'Koz even. There's something a little bit more that can help out the rest of the map, because Insanity even was doing fine for most of the game on Kog'Maw.
But for me, it's looking at Triple and seeing the confidence that you're seeing a lot of this play come out on the Azir, like the confidence to pull off the Shurima shuffles, the 1v1 against Insanity, those kinds of things help Kevy a lot, right? We always talk about mid-jungle duo and how important that can be in terms of getting off the ground in League of Legends, getting your strategy off the ground, but having somebody playing with that much confidence in mid lane helps Kevy immensely in his decision-making, the way that he passes around the map as well, Joshi.
And so as we start looking at the next game, one of the things that I want to look at is I feel like Spawn's job this game was really, really hard, right? The Kalista first pick really got shut down very effectively by the way that CLG drafted. And I would make the argument that I think Spawn is the best AD carry, and I think Yon is kind of the other person who's kind of contending with him right now, and then if Kauri ever shows back up, maybe he can make his way towards the top of those standings as well. But it has been Spawn who has had so much impact over whether or not Dignitas is going to be funding their wins. Give him something, give him a little bit later a pick or something that's a little bit safer that will be useful in more situations, and I feel like Spawn will be able to deliver a lot of these wins for you.
True. Yeah, I think Spawn's definitely a hero to watch in this game, and looking to see how Dignitas kind of bounce back from that first game. We'll find out very quickly, though, as Champion Select is ready to go for game number 2. So let's have some fun.
Oh,
Bye,
we
Lennon.
always have fun, Lennon. We always enjoy ourselves, even right there, seeing a little bit of clips from the previous game. And we're just floating in space. Ooh, spooky. There we go. Now we're back. It's okay. All good. All jazzerific, fantastic. What are other words?
Not
that I can make up?
jazzerific, but it is.
I can make up words. Phantasmalastic.
So positively. Thank you. Thank you, Lennon.
Okay, there we go.
We're back.
Okay.
Okay.
We're back. All right, swap sides. And so with the Renata being first banned, CLG, they saved that ban for very last. And I'm a little surprised by them taking it away, unless it's them really saying, hey, we know you're willing to play the Kalista Amumu bot lane. So it's a lot easier for us to deal with if you have Kalista Amumu rather than Kalista Renata.
Yeah. And I feel like Dignitas are a little bit penalized here being on the red side, especially based on what we saw in our previous draft where Seraphine was banned on the blue side, but Bel'Veth was banned on the red side. And I feel like Dignitas have 2 must bans right now in both the Seraphine and the Bel'Veth. And by banning away the Seraphine while they were on blue side, it says to me that they don't really play it. They don't feel comfortable actually bringing it to the table. And now CLG are kind of waiting to see what Dignitas are actually going to do.
I don't think Dignitas is going to ban Bel'Veth. I think CLG are going to. I have a feeling that Kevi might not have put as much practice into it as we've seen other people with. Plus, yep, there it is. And plus, we've also seen that not everyone thinks that Bel'Veth is that strong right now. Just with the right compositions that she's strong.
And
seeing that banned by... Yeah, exactly. But seeing that it's banned by the side of CLG Academy, it makes sense. It makes sense to see them ban that away. They don't want to have to play that style where it's like, what, the Lissandra, Bel'Veth kind of style. Instead, they want to have more opportunities. And with that, Aphelios being the final ban from Dignitas, I'm curious to see if the... well, I didn't even get to speak fast enough because Zeri got locked in.
Already coming through for Meech, and this champion has become very strong, right? Ever since the W started being able to crit, you've had a lot more opportunities to play it, and we have seen that Yuumi played alongside it, but Dignitas still have a lot of things that they can try and play against it. One of the things that I've loved watching about Spawn is over the course of summer, we've seen him become a lot more aggressive, and there are ways to attack Zeri early on in the game. We've seen some people go towards the Draven. We've seen some people go towards the Tristana. And I feel like Spawn is the kind of player who can bring the Tristana through in order to try and attack Meech really early on in the game.
At the moment, we got that good combination of Wukong and Yuumi. I actually like that combination a lot. I feel like Yuumi, people always think about, okay, what lane champion do you want to put her with? I'm always looking towards the team fights with Yuumi. I think that's when she really starts to show her prowess. As on the other side, you got some good engage tools as well as peel with Rakan locked in. And it's funny because they keep hovering this Karthus. We were talking about the AP junglers for Kevi, but I'm still not sure if we're going to see that or if we're going to see more of a traditional style from Kevi.
I mean, I was expecting something like the Diana, but I do know that he loves playing these AP junglers, and this has been for a long time kind of the counter pick to the Wukong. And it's been interesting to note, right? I feel like the Wukong on 1212B is nowhere near as exciting as it was on 1212A, and as that Twitch comes through, that's gonna be the champion that we suddenly care a lot more about, right? Twitch suddenly is a champion that you can play into this area. You have a lot of early game power, and when you have the Yuumi, you just run around invisible. You can surprise a lot of champions, and Zeri, if she's not next to a wall, doesn't have a whole lot of tools to get away. She can't just turn and fight because Spawn is going to kill her.
So I'm trying to think of like the rhyme, the Dr. Seuss rhyme with Twitch and Yuumi.
The rat with the cat.
The rat with the cat on its back, go rat-a-tat-tat to make it go splat.
Sometimes they have a hat too, right? Remember that brief time where like AP Twitch was all the rage? there's plenty of opportunity still to play it, but this is definitely Dignitas giving Spawn a little bit more control over the rest of the draft. Suddenly, he's picked a champion that is difficult for them to get to, and it's going to be on Breezy right now to be on the ball, right? If Spawn pops up, Breezy needs to instantly either decide, yes, we're fighting this, or no, we're not. And there's not enough time to really coordinate that. That's something that CLG are going to have to plan in advance.
And if I have to expect anything for Breezy, it's probably going to be attack. Just know when Ali plays, this is a very aggressive team. Even with Meech, and they have been playing very aggressively when possible. Meech has been okay with, farming up the waves, trying to get towards the later stages of the game to really be a team fight aspect. But he also is willing to follow Breezy, especially when Breezy says, yeah, you know what? Twitch with Cat, get him.
Get him. So we'll see.
Get him.
We'll see what they end up going for, right? There's a lot of standard things in this draft. Again, the Twitch is kind of the big one that's not, it's not unheard of right now, but Insanity locking in the Swain as well. Lots of sustain coming through for the Dignitas roster. You have people to kind of stand in front, and so far it's kind of difficult for CLG to grind down these fights. The one saving grace they have is that Meech's Q auto attacks are at a longer range than Insanity's ultimate, so they will be able to kind of pepper it down, and CLG going right on back to the Yone for Dokla.
Well, is it? It could still be Triple playing that.
Could be.
I've seen Triple play Yone in the past. Dokla could obviously be on this, but it would be blind. I'm curious to see what they want to go for, because I believe Yone wouldn't be the best that you'd want to put into Swain. Because Swain, the one thing that he has power into this composition, while Zeri might be able to outrange him slightly, the rest of the team really can't.
No, the rest of the team cannot outrange Swain effectively at all. And so now we get to see Hoon with counterpick. Does he want to take the Swain to the top lane? I can't imagine he would. And the Akali going to be the answer. Now, this is another champion that he had a lot of success on when he was still playing in the TCL. It was Akali, Gnar, Aatrox, the ones that were really sticking out in terms of what he was able to play. And this matchup is kind of similar in that you have a big wake up for Hoon on the one item, but it's also a situation where the spike is sharper and it falls off faster, right? If you do not find an opportunity to really beat up Dokla when you have that one item, Hoon's going to kind of fall off the cliff.
I feel like it's just one of those very volatile top lanes that we have this time. Not from the Yone, but as you talked about, from the Akali. And looking at the rest of the map, it's kind of weirdly stock standard that we've been seeing.
It's close. It's close.
The reason why I say that is fairly, because if you kind of look at it, you have supportive mids. I'm expecting Insanity to go for more of the tanky-ish build, where you're the Drain tank, you get Imperial Mandate, your allies to slow them down as well. You have that kind of aspect. Then you have the Karma on the other side to try to bolster up Zeri, make her go fast, blah, blah, blah. Twitch, same kind of thing. It's really about how these two marksmen are going to be able to play this game. And if something happens top lane, something happens top lane. But really, I think that's where the focus is.
It definitely feels like if they end up going for like an Imperial Mandate build, they're kind of minimizing Kevi in a lot of ways, right? Because you become incredibly blue reliant once you actually have the Imperial Mandate, once you go for that. Because you're not building a Lost Chapter, you don't have anything else to prop up your mana pool. And so it's definitely a situation where, as we start looking at this game, I really want to pay attention to the two marksmen, right? Meech and Spawn really going to dictate how this game plays.
That's what I'm looking at as well, as we get ready to dive onto the Rift for our second game in this best of two. CLG Academy got the best of Dignitas for the first time around. Now it's Dignitas' time to strike back with the cat on the back of a rat, going rat-a-tat-tat to make you go splat, but he got no cap to do so, so the hat is for splat. I don't know. I've tried.
We got there.
I tried.
Woo!
I tried.
Modern day poet. So, as we look at the rest of the game, right, Insanity going with a bit more of a, defensive, utilitarian build on the Swain. Does have the Unsealed Spellbook. We'll have different spells to choose from a book, in fact. Spawn.
Sneaky, sneaky. He was hiding. Did you know that?
I did, actually.
Sorry, I was yawning at that moment, so
Sneaky beaky.
it made it a little awkward when you tried to toss it to me. I'm like, mid-yawn.
Oh, my bad. Sorry, there's usually not an action in the first minute and a half in a game of League of
I know.
Legends.
It was just really funny, because I'm like,
Ooh.
yawn, because I think it was a good time for me to toss to you,
But
and
he's
then
on
you're
Team
like,
Liquid.
not that yawn. The other yawn. It's not even spelled the same, Josh!
But it's pronounced similarly.
So is your name to Yoshi, but you don't hear me calling you Yoshi.
I've heard you call me that once or twice. But CLG are turning the tables right now on XU. They are the ones going for the early invade. But XU's not going to be forced out nearly as far as we saw Kevy, right? Kevy had to go towards the opposite quadrant. And this time, XU, at least he still picks up his Raptors. He will be able to get a clear. It's just going to be significantly less healthy than he was going to hope for previously. And XU.
As he learns, he learns the hard way. It was snuck away from him. He'll path down towards the bottom half of the map.
A little bit interesting to me that they decided to commit the time to go see. It's like, yeah, we saw them over there. We could have assumed it, but that would have been the biggest brain play I would have ever seen. If CLG was like, hey, they think we took their red buff, and we actually left the quadrant entirely.
And maybe that's what XU's response was. Maybe it was all bluff. Maybe they didn't take it, and I can actually get this by being the even bigger brain by looking for it. And it just ends up becoming like a never-ending cycle.
Could you press O for us real quick?
Oh yeah, because the thing
Thank you, buddy.
Alright, so what we have going on, the bot lane is kind of boring. 2 calls for each side. It leans more into the fact that they're looking for the mid-game team fights. And I understand that because with both Zeri and Twitch, they get so powerful once they hit those item spikes.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a thing where we always look at Twitch, and you need to get your first kill. You need to get that first little bit ahead of the curve, and after that, then you become incredibly difficult to deal with. But Spawn and JJ, they have a Yuumi. They don't have a lot of lane presence.
No, but now Triple in danger. Never move, pulls him back into the eye of the Empire with the damage coming on top of XU instead. Kevy nearby. Could look to re-engage this fight on top of XU, but he's going to be able to use the detour to get away while Insanity does not have that much mana. Trying to fight back against them. Triple's too low to really assist that of Kevy.
That was a couple of flashes blown, right? Or I guess just the one. Triple did have to use his in order to try and survive. And you notice... Oh, never mind. The scoreboard isn't updating. I thought he was going to say he's holding on to potions, but he gets caught again.
Uh-oh, they never move without flash. They don't engage. Or they do flash in. Insanity with the corrupting pot. Oh, it's not enough. You didn't have it stacked at that moment. So Triple will barely survive with what, 1 HP?
Almost nothing, but XU will be... XU. Okay.
Oh. I was hoping for it.
If there's a jungler in the game that's going to go for that play, it's XU, right?
Like, I know, I was hoping. He was a sneeze away from falling.
XU's the kind of player who would consider, like, flashing over that wall.
As you should. Flash is an offensive summoner.
You know, it's an option. You can always do it.
No. It's not an option, it's a lifestyle.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a way of life. You must flash forward at all times.
At all times. Well, we'll keep a look at that and see how many people are actually going to be paying attention to the creed of Magical. But so far, mid lane, despite all its attention, has been a bit of a wash, and Meech and Breezy are actually up in CS at this point. And, well, we do know that it's going to be fairly simple for them to not die early on. It's not always that you're able to just win the lane up against a Twitch.
Triple was not able to get the tether to connect for the stun, well, for the root onto Insanity, but it will allow Kevy some free time to go invade the jungle of XU again, pretty much trying to turn the fates completely around from last game. It's now bot lane. Breezy, nice knock-up. They still lack the damage. Having 2 calls against one another, well, yes, Zeri, really good at being able to poke people from a bit of a range and getting a little bit of an advantage, and not really doing too much damage at this point.
Yeah. But I also want to kind of look back, right? I feel like XU is making a lot of the same kind of mistakes that we were seeing from him previously, right? What we were seeing earlier in the summer split, where he ends up giving up so much time to look for these plays that he doesn't necessarily get a lot of his farm, and it ends up really biting him a lot of the time if the plays don't actually work out. And so we're seeing right now that XU, he's falling pretty far behind Kevy, who is, you know, at least matched a fair number of the plays that XU has already gone for. And we'll have to see if XU can show that he learned from the success he had on the Bel'Veth and actually go for some of these upcoming objectives. Well,
and we talked about Kevy being this AP jungler who likes to play Evelynn. We saw so much focus in the LCU against him on Evelynn. We also have to take into consideration the fact that when he wasn't on that, DIGA was one of his go-tos afterwards. The power farming kind of jungle style you were talking about, getting these advantages and still playing aggressively into XU, knowing he has a level lead and CS lead, but it won't take the Gromp this time around.
Yeah, he knows that Spawn and JJ are too close, not going to try and overextend for anything. Instead, happy to pick up the crab.
There's Breezy gets a knock up. Again, negligible damage on both sides of this bot lane, where it can get some damage, sure, but it's not really enough to force anyone out of the lane.
And not really enough to force any summoners either, right? We're not expecting these champions to be super explosive early on. It'll really depend on when the first kills start coming through, right? If Spawn can ever get ahead of the curve. But so far, it's a much less violent early game than what we saw last game.
Yeah, quiet, boring, simple. Not how I like it. You know, I like flashy plays. I like excitement. Thank you, Hoon, for diving in right there on a Dokla. Getting a bit of an advantage over him as well. Let's transition to the top lane and talk about this. Because Hoon has been doing a good job in this lane against Dokla, having a bit of a CS lead.
Yeah.
They both recalled, and honestly, the Hextech alternator, I think, is a bit stronger of a spike for Hoon in this lane phase.
Oh, for sure. It gives you a very clear window to try and trade, but they see Kevy coming top.
Perfect execution. You used to dodge away a little bit, but now Hoon should be able to get out of there. Unless you have all three members here, there's going to be perfect execution. Torches hurt, but bot lane's got in a fight too. They've got Exhaust. They're looking for Michi Flash, but he was rooted by the Lost Chapter. Trying to see if they can make it the final chapter for him with the poison first blood and a double kill for Spawn.
There you go, coming through the snapback from Lauren, and suddenly Spawn and JJ on the table were asking, when do they get their kill? When do they jump out to a lead? And they do it all at once. They get 2 kills because they both hit level 6, and I don't think CLG were ready for that, right? As soon as this melee minion dies, they both level 6, they both instantly open up with their ultimates, and CLG not ready to fight back. A great expunge catches both of them, and Breezy flashing a little bit too late. Auto attack already on the way.
Also, it's one of those unfortunate double-edged swords for Breezy on Recon, because you want to dash towards your teammate to be able to survive, get shields, heals, etc. But Twitch thrives on that because of his spray and pray, utilizing the fact that it can pierce through targets and do extra damage that way too. He really ended up fighting them in the bot lane, and as you talked about, you got these 2 kills for Spawn and JJ. There was a bot lane, we weren't expecting much until the calls were completed, but now that you've got those 2 kills, you've got a recurve bow and Vampiric Scepter and the pickaxe for Spawn.
Oh, Breezy doesn't come over the wall.
But they do have XU there. It was probably wise that he didn't. He was like, you know what? I don't see Yumi attached to the rat, so I'm not really gonna take a chance here just in case they jump at me in surprise.
But it does mean that Dignitas will be picking up this first dragon, right? It doesn't feel like the same kind of coordinated plan we saw previously, and we also saw CLG grab the Rifthold up at the top side, but Hoon is positioning very aggressively as well, not going to find anything.
I mean, he survived the previous game, didn't burn Ignite, could still look for a fight against Dokla here. Dokla trying to aggress onto him, but Hoon is doing a great job of just sidestepping everything.
I've actually been very impressed so far with Hoon's ability to lane, right? Going up against Dokla, who has been a strong laner for Academy for a while, as Triple shouldn't be able to get a kill here. That's a lot of damage.
Okay, look. I'll admit this. I used to be a Karma mid aficionado way back in the day. I abused the crap out of it when it was really, really powerful. And with the build you're going against Swain, you're just more looking to see if you can keep chunking him out. You're not even looking for the kills. You just want to get him out of the lane phase. So as you can see, that's why the tethers are always used pretty early by Triple, not even looking for the fight, just looking to make sure that you can guarantee the Mantra Q. And all the while, you're getting advantages. You force Insanity away from another minion wave, poke him out the entire time. XU can't really do anything to help him.
Yeah, and because you have blue buff, there's not a whole lot that's stopping you from just throwing out all these abilities. But Dignitas? Oh, we were talking about Hoon. Right, yeah. I've been very impressed with his ability to lay up against Dokla, right? Just because he's not falling behind. He's taking these skill matchups and doing a very good job at them. And so, the big thing is, you know, is he going to be able to integrate with the rest of the team, right? I was looking at how I was comparing him to Eclipse, who was playing top lane for them in spring, and Eclipse was oftentimes like this secondary threat, and so that's all they really need from Hoon is Spawn looking to potentially be much more aggressive again.
At the moment, it's getting lane shoved in, even bot lane, despite the fact there's a double kill from Spawn and JJ. Meech and Breezy aren't really feeling too forlorn in that bot lane. They're still getting a good pressure back, still farming up, still have a CS lead over the Rat and Cat combo. So I'm just waiting to see when Meech is going to be the one to pop off, when Meech is going to be the one to start getting these kills in return against Spawn.
I don't know if Meech ever really gets a return kill against Spawn, right? Like, Zeri's not a champion.
Well, then who does he kill?
Insanity, XU, probably.
I feel like those are harder targets to kill.
Yeah, but they're ones you can actually hit. Like, you just lose the DPS check against Twitch, right?
Fair.
You know, if you just sit there and both shoot at each other, it's very difficult for Meech to do anything. And so, I feel like there's not really a good moment where Meech gets to just fight up against Spawn unless you got other people who are also creating threats up against him. And it feels like Dignitas are the one who are going to be creating more salient threats throughout most of the fights, with the exception of Dokla, right? On this Yone, he has the ability to actually get on top of Spawn, but Spawn's got a cat.
Yeah.
Emotional support animal.
I guess, yeah, you can have an emotional support animal for an animal.
Yeah?
Because I was thinking about that, I'm like, well, don't, like, tigers and lions have emotional support dogs?
Yeah, that is a thing, right? I think
Yeah,
it's supposed to be like Labrador retrievers or whatever in zoos, but now Dignitas trying to stop this Rift Herald from crashing.
Never move not connecting there. Means that they might have to just give up the crash. We've got 4 members on the side of CLG here in mid lane to try to see if they can make sure they can guarantee a crash at least a couple plays, with one soon to fall afterwards.
But CLG, they grouped up a lot of members towards the mid lane, and you know, 2 plates is, it's not nothing, but it's not a whole lot more than nothing, right? It's kind of a slow game coming through from CLG, and I feel like they tend to thrive a little bit more in these situations than Dignitas would, but they haven't necessarily been able to find any advantages yet.
Speaking of advantages, Hoon came back to lane with Night Harvester completed. That item spike that we were talking about for Akali in Dokla, the spike. Hoon understands that, but so does Dokla, so that's why Dokla is playing so passively at the moment. Maybe looking for a play elsewhere as they get the flash out of Spawn in the bot lane. Not really going to be able to turn too much around.
But everywhere, starting to go low.
Oh, Dokla! Dokla's playing big right now with Ignite ticking on his head. Hoon surviving again. Second time he survived an attempted play by Dokla.
But he's also got the Night Harvester, right? The fact that Dokla is still winning some of these skirmishes is promising, looking for the most valuable prospect, the LCS player as well. But this is the danger spot, right? Oh. Pew, pew, pew. He was hiding.
Keep going, keep going.
Well, I thought that was the danger.
Well, there's no danger.
I thought Spawn was the danger.
He was just hiding.
I'm the one who knocks.
No, he hides. It's like it's hide and seek, man.
Oh.
Now, XU, maybe he's the one who knocks. Because that was a nice knockup with the Cyclone, but now they have to focus their attention on a Breezy who survives with the double dash.
But hey, even though they don't actually get the kills, that buys them enough time. They will be able to pick up this dragon unless Kevy has some kind of miracle steal. But there's no way for Meech and Breezy to try and stick around. This should be a relatively easy secure.
Kevy. Oh, I appreciate the attempt.
He did win a previous one, right? He did win a previous 50-50 going up against XU. You know, might as well try it as well. He's also gone for a Blade of the Ruin King build, right? He's looking to try and have a little bit more early burst, right? And just do a lot of damage right off the bat. But I'm for real, Alex. This game is much less interesting in a lot of ways because it doesn't feel like either team is making the same kind of moves that'll blow up the game. It still feels like we are waiting for the game to really blow up. It still feels like we're waiting for CLG to take their moment and actually play, and while they're forcing for this Rift Herald, it's not a response coming through from Dignitas.
Boone might be caught out. They get the knockup from Breezy. They've got the damage from Dokla, so there you go. A little bit of action around the Rift Herald. Kevy will be able to secure that for the team and look for another charge out of Shelly.
True. CLG right? They don't need the Bel'Veth. Well, I guess they did have the Bel'Veth when Rosestorm was playing it, but they're showing that they are able to play around this objective. And XU...
Dawn, okay. Connects, but now that you have Wukong with a Yuumi attached, it forces the flash out of Kevy, who does not have ult. So with that exhaust, with the peel, it's not enough. Breezy has to bail on his jungler while they look to see if they can chase him down. But he'll survive. It's at the cost of losing a little bit of a carry on your team.
And that's the price you pay, right? When you don't have that ultimate, when you don't have a tankier build. But now Hoon finding Meech.
Hoon, he's gonna get the skill, I think. He's got the damage. He can dash over the wall, and that's gonna be the ult used by Meech, trying to kite this back the best he can. But all Hoon is doing is wait, buying time. Perfect execution is about to be off cooldown. If Meech stayed too long, it would have been a turnaround kill.
Good stuff coming out from Hoon, though. I think he thought that the Swain W was not on his team, right? Like, you saw that gets placed down, he instantly backs up. It's one of those things that you gotta pay attention to.
We've all been there.
We've all been there. It's like, oh crap, that was my Swain W. Probably could have kept on going, but we are seeing Hoon trying to make plays, right? That's one of the things that we always look at for new players. What do they go for? Will they try and find these isolated 1v1s? Do they think they can actually win them? And he was close.
He was. It was very. Had he had the ult, that would have surely been a solo kill.
But he didn't, and it wasn't. And so now, CLG, we are seeing them once again. We were asking when they were going to start swinging in this game. This feels like their first real swing on the map, right? They have 4 people here towards the top lane. They crashed the Riftchild here, and
Hoon dives in 1v3, looking for Kev. He got damage, but he couldn't kill him off. He didn't have enough to finish off the D. That's now CLG. Have to look to see if they can escape. Heavy has no... Oh, he does have the ult, but it's not enough to escape from the expunge out of spawn. And now XU, he's got the Cyclone, he's got the damage.
Sneaky.
Breezy went back in. Sneaky doesn't do enough damage. The flash in, but shields isn't enough to survive. CLG, they're burning, they're ticking. Where's the damage? Can he die? No! Triple again! Second time this game, Josh, he survived with double digits.
but the counter punch coming through from Dignitas every time CLG try and make something happen on the map, they are stifled and they haven't had the tools necessary. If you don't see Spawn, you have to assume he's there, because if he is, the consequences are so dire. Now XU.
Uh-oh, Dokla doesn't have ult, doesn't have flash just yet, but the TP being committed by Triple. Now he's in danger. Help, I'm in danger, because you went right into 4 people.
I don't know about that one, Mr. Triple. That might not have been the triangle you were looking for, as now Dignitas, they find a free kill and Hoon is uncontested in the bottom lane.
You know why I hate triangle?
Why?
Because technically all you did was switch the A and the I.
Oh, I suppose. I hadn't even thought about putting an I in it.
Well, triangle.
I was just spelling a TR angle.
What?
A Dokla.
It would be triangle then, not triangle. Now, Dokla looking for the damage back on the spawn.
It's a tangle.
Oh, it might be a tangle there for sure, because it's a Dokla angle. 1v2, baby. Our MVP is back.
Did you forget who I was? Have I been gone too long, Spawn and JG? You thought you could just fight me? No. Dokla's turning it around. I feel like whenever we see Dokla in these 1v2 situations, he wins way more of them than he should. And the instant understanding that he needs to turn and fight, right? There is no hesitation. He sees the Twitch, he goes immediately on them, and because there's no flash, Spawn can't leave. CLG should earn themselves a dragon.
The Toon looks to see if he can do the same thing Dokla did top side to the bot side. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to, so it'll be Kevy securing the first dragon of the game for CLG Academy. Sadly, it is a Cloud Soul again in this game, but honestly, I think a soul is a soul, so he'll take what you can get. They just need to get 3 more of them.
And I feel like there's a lot of champions on the side of Dignitas in particular that would love to get a Cloud Soul, right? Akali, the extra movement speed to maneuver around these fights. XU, you already get the extra movement speed from your Cyclone, and it just becomes even better. Insanity and Spawn can stay in the fight even better when they have that burst of movement speed when you actually throw out the ultimate. But we were already looking at this game, right? When Spawn and JJ went for that 2v1 on Dokla, they had 4 kills. But now, it's Big Dokes. He's on the table. He's back.
Yeah,
He's ready to party.
You never underestimate the big Dokes, man. He's been popping off in LCS. He popped off last split. He's popping off this game. He's got 4 kills to his name with 2 items already completed. So, you talked about Hoon, you know, having these advantages once he gets the item spike. And how it's a slippery slope if you start falling behind. Well, I feel like this is a good point to talk about how he's starting to fall behind against Dokla.
CLG have one lane of pressure that they can always play around, right? Insanity can't deal with him. Hoon can't deal with him. Dokla is going to be so strong, especially now that he has the wits, and the double AP solo laner is really going to struggle to play in the sides. And this is something that Dokla has been so good at in Champions Queue, in Academy, in LCS. He will create pressure on the map, and he will do it in a way that's almost always going to trade for something, right? As long as the rest of CLG can set up, and now this is when they need to start looking to threaten to actually hit the Baron if too many people come down. Dokla, slap, slap, slap. We zoom in on him, takes down another turret. That's more gold, and Dokla's going to do that again if left unchecked.
Well, that wasn't even left unchecked. Hoon was there. Hoon realized there's nothing he could do to stop the turret from falling, because he would have just been dove by Dokla. Now he's playing with fire. You shouldn't be this far out. You knew Dokla is in the bot lane, and he's got the damage with the tornado connecting even in the Twilight Shard. Look how low Hoon is.
Has nothing he can do, right? Doesn't have the flash. The ultimate is not going to send him in the direction that he wants, so he just has to back out.
Okay, looking for the fight. We're able to find XU, but now Spawn. Where's the spray and pray? They've got the final chapter, but don't actually follow it up. Instead, just saving Private XU and allowing that to be enough.
Okay. Is he saved?
I think he's saved because now Kevy's saved. So it's pretty much just trade. They're trying to trade ults for ults, and I cannot understand that from Dignitas. It's these minor victories that they're gaining for themselves, but at the same time, they're losing massive battles, right? Bot lane still completely controlled by Dokla. Nobody can stop him. He took that second turret. He's got a lot of gold now in his pockets.
Yeah, 2 kills off of that bottom lane turret. And Dokla will be able to reset, and we have another dragon to fight over in about 2 minutes. And so, triple, right? I feel like on this build, right, he's got the Imperial Mandate, he's got the Chemtech Putrefier, he's just this huge force multiplier, and you already have 3 strong auto attackers that are all going to love the extra damage that they're going to be doing when you have triple in your back pocket. And so, now the challenge for Dignitas is how do you get onto Meech? Not like that. That's not the answer.
Well, see, it's funny, because we talked about, you know, Spawn versus Meech at the very beginning, expecting that to be where the most excitement was.
What is that noise? You hear that?
Yeah, I did. I'm trying to figure that out as well.
It's like construction.
Huh. That's weird. Anyways, we talked about the bot lane. We were expecting a little bit more action from them, a little bit more excitement. I still think that they are capable of that. There's a 4-1 Twitch. You can't not expect that. But Dokla has really taken over the role for Meech. And now, instead of seeing triple, I think hanging around Meech to try to buffer him up, is as you said, they have other carries. They've got Dokla with this massive gargantuan lead. So if he ever TPs into a fight, that's who you buff up.
Exactly. And so, I mean, Dokla's now here on the side lane, right? Hoon has not been able to really answer him, and Hoon's actually bleeding a lot of farm, right? Yeah. Dokla has so much control over every single one of these waves, and even though, you know, these minions will not do a lot of damage because Dokla constantly walks this far up, it's difficult for Hoon to actually farm. Kevy gets to take away a ton of the jungle away from XU, and, you know, it's so difficult. Yeah, you can't walk in. You can't walk in.
Now you just feel bad for XU because he's just like, okay, everything is not mine. It's either my teammates or it's the enemies.
Yeah.
I don't have a jungle anymore. I am essentially just a Cyclone bot. I have to set up the fights for the team, accept the sacrifice, and make sure I can set up Spawn to, or even Hoon, to carry the game.
Yeah. So now this is the kind of game where, because the team has fallen behind, it is going to be Dignitas kind of looking for crazy plays, and they can't do it over this dragon. Dokla goes back to bottom lane, right? He's going to go back to trying to take this bottom lane turret, and CLG, they have the firepower necessary to prevent Dignitas from actually going for this Baron. And so I feel like we're seeing, well, I was so happy with the play that we were kind of seeing from Dignitas earlier on, where they were going for things, and I was so excited to see that Spawn was being more aggressive on the Callista 2 weeks ago. Excuse me, Magical. you know, he was so good at looking for these aggressive angles, trying to find the right targets. But this Dignitas that we're sitting right now, not doing much, right?
I mean, Spawn got a double kill.
It's been a hot minute.
No, it's been like 20, 25.
You know, maybe not 25, but it's still been, you know,
20.
Well,
Let's compromise 20.
it's been too many minutes.
Too many hot minutes.
Yes.
I feel like I'm throwing you off your game, aren't I?
I'm trying to do mental math. But
Josh, how many times have we told you this? Don't do math on broadcast. It's not good for your health or sanity.
that's been long gone. But the big thing that we gotta look at now is, you know, when you play this Twitch, when you have the cat, you gotta play like a little psycho, right? You know, you gotta.
Yeah, I understand that. I always play psycho.
Yeah, but you gotta do the. It's me. I was hiding, and you know, to CLG's credit, they're not giving a lot of opportunities for Spawn to do that. But he can't do it now. He's gonna get jumped on.
Well, XU, he's looking like he's going to be the one jumped on. Zoka in the back line was able to find Insanity and get him away from the Dame, so he can't bump up anybody with XU getting a lot of knockup potential. Trying to see if he can take down Meech. The pullback in with the never move. They got damage. Insanity, he's huge. They're turning around the fight. Dignitas find the angle as Meech falls to Spawn for a 6th time.
Let's go. Big fight coming through from David and Sandy Chaw, looking for that 3-man root and pull. CLG, we're looking so ready for that fight, but Dignitas were able to turn it right around, and Dignitas, suddenly, they weren't the one making the play, but they turn it around. They find themselves the Baron and CLG, who look so poised to just take control of the game, are now going to be on the back foot yet again.
And we talked about it briefly in Champions League, right? That Insanity into this composition that CLG have crafted is actually really powerful, but we didn't really get to see until now.
Yeah. And so we had a previous conversation, right? You can't really go aggressive when you don't see Spawn, and Spawn gets to pick his moment. But the big thing is Insanity throws out the never move, pulls 3 members back on the side of CLG. Now holds him in a perfect spot. Spawn can hit every single one of them at the same time. He can hit them with the rat-a-tat-tat, the spray and pray, and suddenly all their health bars just disappear off the board. CLG, I feel like that's an error that they can look at and recognize. Well, we can't do that again. We have one person we need to hit, and everything else is about waiting for Spawn to show himself.
And it's so funny looking at how that fight really went out, because now, with all the
look
burn and a lot of
him.
summoners burned, they're looking for Spawn, they're chasing him down, but can they catch up to him? He's speedy, a little boy in the back line. Well, actually was getting a lot of attention from Dokla, who could have chased him down, but just couldn't get near.
Well, that's the idea, right? You gun it for Twitch. If he's not with the rest of the team, if you don't have to go through them, you just fight him. So CLG, they figured out what the game plan is, but now Hoon on the side lane is going to be picking up a turret down here in the bottom lane, getting a little bit more of that money back.
Even Gold State now between the two teams. I set edge, kind of like last game, where it was really.
The sweeper ran out.
Oh wait, no, they spot him out. There's Cyclone. He's got low damage, and look at the other side. They look for Hoon. As Dokla now has got to be careful. The dash in from Hoon executes one, but he's bounced around, couldn't get through. Dokla now needs to be a hero because Twitch has cleaned up everyone else. With Insanity going golden, Dokla, this is your time to shine, baby. This is time to prove why you are the MVP.
Find the couple, but is it enough? Looking for XU. They have a cat. Gonna be running away. Triple not going to be strong enough to help him out there, but a great flight coming from XU, and honestly, a little bit lucky there, right? Dokla's sweeper runs out before he's going to be able to run into XU. XU getting away with a crazy play. Yet again, he's so good at finding these timing windows in order to actually attack the other team, and coming out huge.
Hey, you asked for more aggression. I talked about the double kill, but it had been a hot minute. Now, no longer. 8-1 for Spawn in this game, jumping up massively after those last few fights.
Suddenly huge. And now, this could be
big
the make or
reds are
break
scary,
moment
man.
for a lot of this game, right? CLG, Kevy's having a rough time. Meech is not looking particularly strong. A triple time.
It's Spawn who looks strong, though. Unstoppable Twitch.
They pick up the mid lane turret, and they don't care about the dragon either. With this death of triple, they can just look into the mid lane. They're already pushing up. Another turret will be going down here. And Kevy, it looks like he's going to try and sneak the dragon.
Oh, sneaky, sneaky. The reverse fortune for Twitch. Yeah, they know he's there. They use the vision of the Empire to try to get a little bit of vision onto Kevy on top of that. So now they're rotating around. They see that it's still being committed. So instead, they have to see if they can peel onto Breezy. But Dokla, it was a trap for Hoon. Hoon tries to fight his way back out, but Dokla is dominating.
Dokla so good once again, using the knock-up instantly, turning around.
Uh-oh, might have bit off a little bit more than he could chew there. Took a lot of damage. They're trying to see if they can stop this dragon take, because like I said, soul's a soul, and you'll take whatever you can get. If it means stopping the soul from going over to Dignitas, it would have been nice, but they couldn't.
But still only 3 dragons. They need one more, and so this game, it really is. Early on, we identified it. Dokla, most valuable prospect from Spring. Now LCS top laner. Spawn, one of the people that was kind of under the radar for a lot of people who are watching Academy in spring and even during summer. But he has quietly kind of crept up. He was always a strong team fighter in a defensive way. He was never going to die, and he moved around in a way that he was always able to hit. But now we're starting to see he's able to pick his own angles. He's trying to find new ways to be the primary carry, to be the primary person that is going to be making aggressive damage plays for the rest of Dignitas. And with 9 kills to his belt, he's perfectly poised to do that yet again.
So you would probably call it a spangle, right?
A spangle?
Spangle? Spangle?
Spangle?
Spangle.
A star
Right.
spangled banner.
That's why I wanted it to be spangled, so I could say that.
There you go. I'm glad we came to the same conclusion.
Okay, so I'm glad you mentioned, though, Dokla, how strong he is in this fight, but also Spawn. Because this went from a situation where we were expecting Zeri Twitch to be the primary focus to Dokla, the MVP that you called out, most valuable prospect of spring. Showing up again. 4 items, including the Guardian's Angel, have been built up. And I'm going to bet he is now focused on to see if he can get Spawn. But with Insanity starting off the fight, Meech having dashed over the wall to be able to get away, nobody's going to engage fully just yet. Dokla's going to hold on.
That's Insanity's ultimate down. He doesn't present anywhere near the same kind of threat. CLG, they can't get back to defend their turret.
No, that's why they kind of have to forfeit that one. The inhibitor would have been more worthwhile if that was gained by Dignitas, but 1 turret's enough. They forced the hand of CLG, who are now trying to see if they can play defensively. But look at XU, look at Dignitas. They've got the fight, but can Dokla be a hero to kill off Spawn? But Spawn's golden. They've got damage on the Twitch. Twitch still alive. Oh, finally shut down by KV, and now Dokla into the back line. He's got shield for days. Wait a minute, Dokla! Big jokes!
Dokla, my dude, coming back and showing why you are so worth going right on up. He finds his way to Spawn. He keeps himself alive, and triple to his credit, keeping Dokla alive the entire fight. And CLG poised to end the game. 20 seconds still before anybody on Dignitas comes back up. CLG find 1 fight. Spawn needed to not die the 1 time. And that's it. That's it. They find the 1 person they need to.
They focused heavily on Spawn that time, even with the stopwatch. It was not enough to stop the onslaught that is Dokla here in Academy, going 2-0. Of course he is.
CLG, there you go, finding 2 more wins, this time over Dignitas, another team that started the day at 4, that started the day 11-9. Oh no, 12-8. I had the scores reversed, but CLG continuing to move up, and I was already looking at this team as something that was going to be very good. Kevy, well, he's still, he had an all-right showing. We know he's going to get better as they start integrating him further when they get more scrims. But at the end of the day, when you get to have an LCS player on your team, it's pretty good.
One day he'll play York for me. One day.
One day.
But you know what? Either way, Izione, impressive in that second game. Just essentially 1v9. Let's be real. Oh, is he 9-0 at the end of that game?
Yeah.
Didn't die a single time. The Guardian's Angel came in clutch in that last fight to keep him alive, where he was already hard enough to kill. They take a 2-0 victory, and we're going to toss to a break. When we come back, our host, Mazel, will be here for our interview with the winning team. Make sure you stay tuned.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm here with the Verizon post-game interview. I'm Mazel, and I'm joined by the jungler for CLG Academy. I've got Kevy for the first time in Academy for Summer Split. I'm so excited to have you here, so excited to get to talk to you. But first off, nice little 2-0 welcome week here at Academy. How does it feel to just come right off the bat and get some wins under your belt?
Yeah, I mean, it feels really good going 2-0. Like, obviously, I didn't play too well in the second game, but we got the wins, so it feels good.
I like it. You also got to work with Dokla, a newly promoted top laner into the LCS. Had the E-sub today for Jenkins. How was working with him? Daddy Dokes coming in to help carry the day.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Dokla kind of 1v9'd, like, that's all I can really say about it. He just played, like,
was it
really,
just the
really
confidence,
well.
Yone? Was he just like, yeah, let's
Yeah,
pick it, let's do it?
Yeah, he's literally just like pick me yo in like both games, so that's what he did, and he just carried pretty much.
Nice. Yeah, do you feel like you learned anything from getting to share the rift with Dokla?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I feel like I'm learning more and more, like game by game, playing with all these players. Like they're all like really knowledgeable, like Dokla, like Triple, Jenkins. Like they're all like so knowledgeable, and I have like a lot to learn. So every game, like I feel like I'm improving more and more.
I like it. I like it. Now, it has been a long time coming to see your face, see you in the CLG Academy scene. How does it feel to finally be with the team, finally be a part of the program, man?
It feels really good. Like it took like quite a while to get here, like because of visa and stuff. But like now that I'm finally here, I'm just like trying to adjust to like, like living in LA and like all of this stuff. Like CLG has been like really good. So yeah, it feels great.
Now, I just want to highlight, playing with some of these players, especially Triple. I feel like in game number 1, you had a lot of confidence play coming out from Triple. How has it been, when we know that mid-jungle duo is so important right now, like how has it been communication-wise? How has it been synergy-wise with Triple?
It's been alright. I mean, it's been something we've been working on a lot, like just like with the timings and stuff like that. Like there are a lot of things like players do here that are like more punishing, which I'm figuring out now that didn't happen so much like in OCE. So yeah, it's a work in progress.
I like it. Hey, it's always a work in progress. You got a long time to figure it out too. We still got some weeks left here. But you did get to enjoy off season. We got to see your tweets from Rio earlier. Do you have any favorite memories from the off season, even if it was a little bit long?
I wouldn't. I don't know. Like it was all just fine. Like as I said, like CLG paid for like the whole thing. Like flew me to get my visa earlier and stuff like that. I chilled in Rio for like a week. I did get a bit sick, so it wasn't fun. I played some like Brazilian solo queue and stuff, which
how was that?
Was alright.
What? Did you play anything spicy or what?
It was alright. I came across a few pro players, but generally, yeah, like I prefer being in NA, so maybe that's the highlight, just like actually arriving here and like
actually being here. Yeah. And then now you get to finish out the season and really start working on something special. I could appreciate that. Well, I guess to get to the nitty gritty then, Kevy, you're finally here. You're here with CLG Academy, the regular season first place finishers last split. What is your goal in Academy here? What do you want to accomplish as a player?
Obviously winning is like really nice, and that's something that I want to do, but I also just want to like improve as much as I can and just have the highest impact I possibly can, like I just that's pretty much it. I just want to like do the best that I can, and like whatever happens.
I love it, man. Quick words, but it's powerful in its own right. I want to give you a chance to give a shout out to anybody you want to talk about here. I know you're already shouting out CLG as a whole, but do you have anybody you want to talk about?
Well, like everyone, but maybe specifically Triple. Like I mean, he's also from OCE, so like I feel close with him than like the rest of them, at least for now. And yeah, he's just like really knowledgeable and someone I feel like I can learn a lot from. So yeah, shout out to Triple.
Well, thank you so much, Kevy. I appreciate getting to chat with you. I'm sure we'll see much more of you. So go enjoy the rest of the night, but get right back to it tomorrow.